Good morning, and this week we are doing Unit 5, Week 1. Our theme is New Perspective. The three stories you will be reading is Miguel in the Middle, Ida B. and her plans to maximize fun, avoid disaster, and possibly save the world, and Dusty's Ride. Our study skills this week is you'll learn about our genre, realistic fiction. Our comprehension skill is story elements. Our comprehension strategy is predictions. And our vocabulary strategy is context clues. You will be able to build background knowledge on new perspectives, recognize the characteristics and text features of realistic fiction, listen for a purpose, and pronounce and define weekly vocabulary words. Our essential question is, what experiences can change the way you see yourself and the world around you? Let's watch the video for this week.
New perspectives. What experiences can change the way you see yourself and the world around you? Visiting a new place can give you a different view of the world around you. City noises, tall buildings, and crowds of people will all leave an impression. Whether it's an adventure on city streets or conquering a ropes course in the trees, every new experience adds to your perspective. Activities such as spending time with family and friends or caring for animals develop your appreciation of relationships with others. Learning to do new things and gaining new skills change the way you see yourself. Look around. There are so many things to discover. Every experience expands your understanding of yourself and the world around you.
So our concept is new perspectives. So having new experience such as making a new friend or moving to a new city can change the way we think about ourselves and the world around us. Let's listen to The View from Here.
The view from here. When you walk down the street, a city like this appears one way. When you go high up, your perspective of the same city changes. From the top of this skyscraper in New York City, a visitor can see how tall, vast, and bustling with people this big city is. In the transition back to the ground, you may see the city streets in a whole new way too. Talk about it. Right?
So our vocabulary words this week are disdained, focused, genius, perspective, prospect, stunned, superb, and transition. You will have an interactive notebook every week, and what you will need to do is type in these vocab words and then put in the definition. So you have your vocab words every week. The first word is disdained, which means a feeling of dislike for someone or something you think is unworthy. The book uses it in a sentence as Rebecca likes to eat many vegetables, but she always shows disdain for broccoli, meaning she does not like broccoli. Focused, able to concentrate on one thing. Ellie pays attention and stays focused during class discussions. Genius, an extremely intelligent or talented person. My sister is a genius when it comes to fixing computer problems. Perspective, your point of view or the way you see things. Binoculars gave Kyle a closer perspective of the boat in the harbor. Prospect, something you look forward to or expect. Gillian was happy at the prospect of traveling to Paris next year. Stunned, shocked, or confused. Lewis was stunned by the unexpected test grade. Superb, something that is excellent. The cooking teacher praised his student for the superb dish. Transition, A change from one form, condition, or activity to another. Max was afraid to make the transition from walking to riding a school bus. What experience can change the way you see yourself and the world around you is our essential question. Let's listen to the story, Miguel in the Middle. So we're going to read about what causes the title character to change his view or himself. So the title character is Miguel.
For as long as I can remember, I've always been in the middle. I'm the middle child in my family. I've always sat in the middle of the classroom in school. Even my first and last names, Miguel Martinez, start with an M, the middle letter of the alphabet. Luckily, I'm also in the middle of a large circle of friends. Most of them are classmates in school. Well, at least they were until now. You see, I started middle school in September, and the transition from elementary school caused some painful changes for me. All of my closest friends go to a different middle school in the area because of the way our school district is mapped out. The only classmate I know from my old school is Jake, who's a genius in math, but since it's not my favorite subject, we never became friends. Another big change is that I'm no longer situated in the middle of the classroom. My seat is now in the front row. Also, my new teachers shovel tons more homework at us, especially in math, than we used to get. So you can imagine why my heart wasn't exactly dancing when middle school began. By the end of October, Jake and I had become good friends. It happened because I was so hopeless trying to do my math homework. I have a disdain for math, especially fractions. To me, fractions are a foreign language. I may as well be trying to learn Greek or Latin. So one day, I approached Jake after school. "Hey, Jake," I began. "I was wondering if you could help you with the math homework, right?" he said, completing my sentence. "Sure, I'd be happy to help you, Miguel." I was stunned because, to be truthful, I wasn't sure until that moment if Jake even knew my name. And yet, here he was, happy to save me from drowning in my sea of math problems. That night, Jake and I had a study session, and it was time well spent. I must admit that Jake's a superb math teacher. He used slices of pizza pie to explain the idea of eighths and sixteenths, and by the end of the night, I finally understood why 8/16 is the same as 1/2. The next day in class, I was even able to answer one of the math problems our teacher put on the chalkboard. She was surprised when I raised my hand, and guess what? So was I. They say time flies when you're having fun, and I guess it's really true. I can't believe winter vacation is almost here. The school days have been flying by like a jet plane. I suppose it's because I'm a much more focused student, especially in math, than I ever was before. Until this year, I always looked forward to the prospect of a school break. Now I actually feel sad that I'll be away from middle school for 2 weeks. The other day, the most amazing thing happened when our teacher gave us a math brain teaser. She asked, "If you wrote all the numbers from 1 to 100, how many times would you write a 9? The question was harder than it seemed. Most of the students said 10, although some clever kids said 11 because they realized that 99 has 2 nines, not just 1. But Jake and I were the only students with the correct answer, 20. Everyone else forgot to count all the 90s. Jake and I plan to hang out during the winter break. He promised to show me the math museum downtown. It won't just be us, however, since all my new friends from middle school will come too. You see, even though I now have a completely different perspective on math, some things haven't changed. I'm still in the middle of a large circle of friends.
Next, you'll have to go into your Google Classroom and go to the worksheet, Miguel in the Middle, and work on the worksheet. You will see the story of Miguel in the Middle in the Google Classroom as well. You'll just need to sign into your Wonders website. When you are done answering these questions, please submit the worksheet to me through Google Classroom. Now, Our comprehension strategy is make a prediction. So when you make a prediction as you read text, use the text details to help you think about what might happen next. You can confirm your predictions if they are correct. If they are not, you want to revise your prediction. Our comprehension skill is compare and contrast. So when you compare and contrast settings in a story, you figure out how the places and times are alike and how they are different. In a story with more than one setting, you can compare and contrast the effects of the different settings or on the characters. So this is the diagram, a Venn diagram for compare and contrast. It has Miguel's old school, Miguel's new school, and what they have the same. Our genre is realistic fiction. So the selection Miguel in the middle is realistic fiction. Realistic fiction has characters and settings that could actually exist, may have a first person narrative, may also include figurative language such as hyperbole and metaphor. What you'll need to do is in your Google Classroom, you will have an interactive notebook for genre and comprehension skills and strategy. Just like you did last year in 5th grade, you will write what make a prediction is, what comprehension or what compare and contrast means behind the comprehension in skills and strategy tab. Then behind the genre tab, you'll write realistic fiction as well. Also in your Google Classroom, you will see your packet. From your packet, you will work on it throughout the week. You can take as much time as you want, but by the end of the week, your packet has to be done. This page does not need to be done because you will be doing that in your Miguel in the Middle worksheet. For this story, I need you to record yourself reading this first page and send me the recording. If you have any questions on your packet, please don't hesitate to ask.